You can see there's quite a close margin here, though, at the top. Van Soest trying to look for an improvement here late in the session. They might be able to snag P2 away from Nickerson, or maybe even pole position if they can put the lap together. They're about a 10th up right now into the middle, straight up towards turn 5, but they did lose a little bit of time there on the exit. The track has now evolved into fast, so for the quicker drivers out there, there might be a free 10th or 2 on the circuit right now, and you've got a couple of laps at the very least to try and make something happen. So I guess my prediction did come true after all. We ended up seeing a little bit of evolution into fast territory, especially from green. That's going to be quite a significant potential change in the level of grip. Almost a half-second gain there for Van Soest in what was the penultimate corner of the track. Can they find that time advantage here heading into the main straight? It looks like they are increasing their delta just a little bit. Is it good enough for an improvement? Not quite. Still 24.02 and 600ths off of P2. From Van Soest is half a second and change up on their time as they navigate the Lamborghini again here through the very difficult Sector 3 of this track here, trying to take as much curve on the inside as you possibly can to carry that speed. It looks like they're losing a little bit of time in these corners, missing the apex slightly, and they're gonna have to take another try if they want to nail down pole position, but it will not be that big of an improvement, especially compared to the 2 cars improving behind, already starting their lap. About 2/10 up here is Nickerson, leading in to turn 3 Grand Hill Bend. And Van Soest is also improving, not too far behind, actually about to complete their lap and will take P2 away. Not quite there for pole position, and they're not going to start another lap. They had traffic in the way. Kennedy has invalidated their current lap, so that is going to be where they stand. Sorry, but Van Soest in the number 52 machine, starting in P3. Hopefully for their sake. ACM Motorsports leading, as you mentioned, 1-2 as the lights are prepared to go out. Drivers in their grid positions, it look like it is going to be green light for the 4 hours of Brands Hatch here for the ACM 2025 Endurance Series. It's a good getaway for the 2 leaders, nearabouts 3 wide in the back as all of those German machines start to get away from the line. It does look like everybody's being nice and respectful here through turn 1. Druids has also got a lot of space being afforded, not necessarily a whole lot of battling going on at present. I don't think anybody wants to draw a severe incident.
I thought he was clear of the car behind and actually turned across the front of him and then, spun himself out. So, yeah, it's unfortunate to see, but you got to be aware of your surroundings, especially in Brands Hatch. It's very unforgiving.
That ball out at turn 9 did not last long. Raymond Van Soest is already shaping up here for a move against the 378, but he's got company. Line him with no gap at all. That is just nose to tail. Contact is made, and the Lamborghini thankfully stays in the right direction. And Lina is going to pick up that position, presently speaking, almost looking for a move up the inside. Is the Ferrari behind? I think they're going to think better of that one. Thank goodness that Lamborghini did not go around. I would have hated to see that one of the cars competing at the but not exactly the greatest scenes here to start the race, as Van Soest is looking for a return up the order here.
Yeah, I mean, it's thankfully not been too bad of a start. Split 1, I think, has had a few incidents as well, but Split 2 certainly had a lot more door banging.
It's going to offset their pit cycle, so they might have an opportunity to pull something cheeky, especially in a 4-hour race. Everybody's already thinking about the optimal pit cycle and where they're going to come out in relation to other cars. At least that's what I would be doing if I was them. Granted, I would not be doing a very good job of thinking about it, but I would at least be thinking about it, Harry. I mean, what are you looking at in terms of, obviously, it's damage that has to be repaired. Do you think they still got a chance in this race if they can game the pit cycle?
Well, that's the thing with endurance racing, and this is why it's so fun. I mean, endurance racing is great for the pit stop cycles. You can really be smart with the strategy. I did a Nordschleifer race not too long ago where I managed to actually put myself into P1 and P3 just by getting a good strategy.
I might say. Let's return to the action towards the front of the field. I missed a couple of moves for these drivers up here earlier. I mentioned there's plenty going on in the midfield. And as you so astutely pointed out in the qualifying session, we had quite a few cars that were close together. And they did provide some entertaining moments there for us. Gap starting to extend as we get into the race proper. Raymond Van Soest still looking to return to that podium position after they received a little bit of contact from the car in front. That's the 68 BMW of Lynham in front, and I believe I actually saw Van Soest flashing the car in front out of Paddock Hill Bend, presumably trying to usher the vehicle in third place right now to surrender that position for an unfairly gained advantage.
We've got, as you've been saying, quite a few penalties on the side now. Quite a grouping of it as well, down between V14 and V18, which is interesting to see.
Let's see, there's been another move here. Lynham, I think, might have gone a little bit wide there. I was tracking that delta on my race control. Might have gone a little, just that tiniest little bit too far out towards the grass in that first corner of the outfield section, and that allowed the Lamborghini to go through. I'm sure that Van Soest is going to be happy about that one, but they're not done with this battle just yet. Potentially looking for a move up the inside here of turn 9. I don't think it's going to happen. A little bit of a defensive shape shown there by the Lamborghini in front, and a little bit of grass on the apex for the BMW behind. I think that should just about be the end of that discussion. But the leading Ferrari might have something to say about this as they head in towards Paddock Hill Bend, potentially looking for a better exit, trying to use that arrow. The Lamborghini's got a bit of a slide, no contact made, but they're well off the course. Van Soest, a huge moment there at Paddock Hill, and thank goodness they keep it in the right direction. That's even going to allow Vegahop to get through at Druids. Space is afforded on the rejoin, but what are we realistically expecting? As there's a lot of action. Oh, that's a bit of contact, and ooh, things getting hairy down here at Druids. That's the 151 car. That's 4th position. I believe there's a blue flag in the mix as well. That McLaren, who makes contact with the 151 car and gets spun around. That is blue flag traffic contact in the 46 machine. Has just broken up that fight in the worst way possible. And so still looking for a return to the podium positions. Down 2 places since race start. And oh my goodness, I looked away from my screen for 1 second, and instantly there was action. That was the Ferrari getting into contact with, I believe, that BMW or perhaps some blue flag traffic. Keep an eye on Vegahop. Picking up a toe on the straight here. Leading in towards turn 1, and it seems like that sun is about to come over the horizon. I think second here, Harry. But we're still on a fast track, 10 and 10 degrees. Van Soest more than likely looking behind in the mirrors. There's a little bit of, oh, excuse me, that's not blue flag traffic ahead. You can just barely see in this POV. That's Kennedy up the road. That's P2 in the McLaren for CI Motorsports. If you would, playing a little bit of rear gunner, usually a theme that we see more common in Formula 1. So I'm not going to try to get that one back, but I do think that looks like a situation where contact is not the least likely thing to happen. And if indeed that is the case, I can only assume it's going to be a sizable penalty, because that was a horrid accident there for the number 4. I'm thinking up the inside of turn 9. It was an aggressive move. They did force the 52 to afford just a little bit more space than they would have liked. Looking towards turn 1, just not quite the overlap there, but they're going to go for it. Up the inside here goes Xavi Vegahop, and another position gain up onto the podium. I don't think Van Soest is really going to have a whole lot of opportunity to fight this one on the exit of Druids. Very cut and dry pass there, and an aggressive move through Paddock Hill, but cleanly done. Nice. Well, ACC appears to have brought Van Soest back into the conversation, though, to fight for a podium position yet again. An invalidated lap there. Kennedy went just a tiny bit wide there on the exit of the previous corner. Do have to be careful about the potential for drive-through penalties. I can see Natashiko has also picked up 15 seconds worth of penalties, and I'm not necessarily surprised by that. We saw some incidents that they got involved with. 44 having another moment in the background. About 40 minutes and change into this race. Most of the gaps have started to sort themselves out. This is by far the closest fight that we've got going on right now. This is Raymond Van Soest for Iron Lynx following Kennedy. That's the P3 car. It seems like they are having some trouble with blue flag traffic. just about now, and this might be an opportunity for the Lamborghini to find a way through. They're going to be just a little bit later on the brakes onto the outside, but there's just no way through here for the McLaren. The BMW is holding the inside line, and it looks like they are going to lift off slightly to let the leading cars through, but not before causing a little bit of a stir there near the top. I don't know who exactly that is behind them. But I believe doing their due diligence. That's a bit deep there for Kennedy. And now an opportunity for Van Soest to try to make something happen here as the McLaren is going to be on a slightly shallower line. Leading towards turn 3. Lamborghini famously good on the brakes. Potential to go for a move on the inside here. And there is a defensive posture shown by the McLaren. But now an opportunity on the exit for Van Soest onto the middle straight. It looks like the power up is good though for Kennedy. They will live to fight another day. Wonderful battling going on there. Van Soest still keeping up here behind Kennedy. No blue flags to interfere this time. Toe leading in towards Paddock Hill is not going to be nearly enough here for the 52 machine. Why think about it though, up on the inside, and Van Soest definitely did try and make the driver ahead think about it. It does not appear that there was anything in it for him. He's flashing his lights again. He did before Paddock Hill, after Paddock Hill. Then again there. Matashiko into the pit lane. It's a little bit early for a stop. 45 minutes into the race. I think they're thinking about trying to game the pit stop with the stint timer. 65 minutes it is. So not quite 4 even stints. They might be trying to put in a partial stint now, so they can do a partial stint later. I wonder if they were even a little bit lighter on fuel. And so still up behind. Kennedy still flashing the lights. Not entirely certain on the sportsmanship of that, and that's certainly not sporting. 52 makes contact with the car in front, and they do actually hold up. Unfortunately, it's going to open up the opportunity. That's a blue flag actually going through. So that BMW going to have to allow the 52 Lamborghini some space on the inside here. The 44's had another incident. Actually, it's just ahead of this fight. Evan Xavier wisely stays off the line until the fight goes through. Van Soest probably not going to be terribly satisfied with that one. Not terribly satisfied with themselves after making a little bit of a touch. Gets the McLaren ahead there at Druids. And so he's once again just up behind Kennedy, looking to try to find their way through. There might have been a little bit of fighting going on there just ahead of the battle we were watching only moments ago. Keeping an eye on the 245 in second place right now. Only 6.6 seconds now behind the lead with a purple lap of 124.062. 4/10 faster than the next fastest car on track. This is a good opportunity. Defensive shape thrown there by Kennedy. They'll hold on to the position presently speaking, but they're going to have to sacrifice their exit now. The CI Motorsports car is doing everything that they can to keep this Lamborghini behind. They're fighting as if it's the end of the race. And it does maybe question the wisdom a little bit, but you have every right to defend your position. As long as they keep it clean, this seems like it's the correct play call for Kennedy. You're forcing the car behind to sacrifice every second that they spend behind you. Van Soest out of Paddock Hill yet again. Has to stay behind. Oh, the BMW is trying to unlap themselves up the inside of the 52 Lamborghini. And that is, excuse me, who is that actually trying to make that move? That's not Alvarez. I am unsure. Double check here on my relative. That's Lure, who's trying to make that move against Van Soest. Probably not too pleased with that. I certainly would not be if I was them. Trying on the outside of turn 5. That is bold. It will not work out. Tiny little bit of door banging there. Lure's still trying it as well. On the fresher tires, it's going to give them quite the advantage. They will get through, I think. Vensost recognizing that the BMW with those, the fresh rubber, it's going to be just a little bit faster. Kennedy lives to fight another day through this battle. The pit strategy could definitely come into effect here if they decide to take an early stop. We're on the outside of the car ahead. That's Kennedy again. Lure is really going after it. He's still blue flagged here and forces Vensost to lift off. If I'm the driver of the 52 here, I am not very satisfied with how this battle has been going. Lure just a little bit wide of the apex there, but we'll find the power to stay ahead. Metcalf does enter the pits, by the way. I think sustaining a little bit of damage. That's a big missed apex there for the 578 in front of all of this. This battle does continue. I would say nice and easy, but that would imply that there was anything nice about it, so at least you kept it pointing in the right direction. I've just seen the 664 has left the server. Can't help but wonder if that is another retirement or mechanical issue. The BMW, Bennett Lure is not having the greatest of luck here, has no right to defend as a blue flag, and so will let the 52 Lamborghini go after that slight mistake. Looked like they were still trying to unlap themselves from Kennedy. Frustrating position to be in when you know that you can potentially take the cars in front. Those blue flags are a bit prohibitive.
Behind, I'm gonna butcher this name, but
well, that P2 is going to extend a little bit further here as Brooksiter is taking over for the 52 car from Vensost and just had a major hit into the barrier in the outfield section. That's going to be a sizable amount of damage. And hey, look, Jack Kennedy's back into P2. Inter-team or intra-team?
have a good.
Let us know in the comments. Oh God, we really have become YouTuber. That is a bold idea there from Bennett Lure, but they're gonna try it. Here gets the 52, and Brooksiter has to let him through. Space was afforded. That was a good send there for the BMW. We've seen, I will say this, for as many moves that we have seen with contact, oh, that's a big, oh no, that's a big mistake. Brooksiter hitting the side two, T-boned after losing control of the car, turn 5. That's going to be a lot of damage on the side pod, probably some of the front two. And that Lamborghini might need to come in. I can't help but wonder if there's going to be some suspension damage on that car.
Well, looking at the way that they're driving, I think there probably is. Maybe if it's just a little bit, yeah, there is. There's definitely some suspension damage on that car, so they're going to have to go to the pit lane.
We'll do something I don't usually do. Take the wheel cam here. And it actually looks like they don't. They're not.
It's a very small.
They are going
right.
to pull in though, yeah. That was a big moment for them. Oliver Flint's had another off here. Oh no, the car's 25. You can't park there, sir. Here comes the 875. That's Nickerson. Thank goodness no contact is made there. And they will get back in the right direction. But just another moment there. Oliver Flint, who is also taking this race solo. So really feeling the effects of the endurance race so far. And that actually is for a position with Brooksiter, and they do have a little bit of a door bang. But nothing bad comes of that one. Another car's off. That's Patrick Borghi again in the 758 McLaren ahead. kicking up some dust, but still keeping the car on track. Right before the pit limiter, and oh boy, that was a bit of a saga there, just entering the pit lane.
Actually, not the easiest to pit lane here at Grand Hatch. It's you've got to practice it at least once to not mess it up, really, because it's a sharp right-hander, then a sharp left-hander, and then you got the 50 km/h speed limits, so you got to be really careful on entrance.
I'm wondering too. I did notice the well, it's a bit of a wide moment there for the 52 car. Brooksitter is at risk here from Oliver Flynn. I noticed the barriers actually segmenting the pit lane. There is the option to go straight on, but the specific layout that we have forbids it. It's entirely prohibited. And I have to wonder why. Why exactly is it that they made it that way? I wonder if it's just to make sure that the cars get slowed down before the pit entry, but I mean, nobody wants a speeding in the pit lane penalty, so surely that's got to be motivation in its own right.
I suppose it works. How's my driving on the back as well? There's been a spin for Raymond van Soest, unfortunately, in the bio-circle. Iron Lynx Lamborghini, and it looks like they're going to rejoin nice and safely though. It looks like there's been a fairly big pile-up towards the start-finish straight here. We've got a car of 758 going incredibly slowly.
Good afternoon all, we are back for the closing hour and 12 minutes of the 4 hours of Brands Hatch. We have got both splits on screen. We'll be bringing you coverage of both of them as we have joining us on Twitch fresh from YouTube, multitasker extraordinaire. He's going to be covering race 2 for us as well. As I say, we'll get that full screen and down in the bottom. And as I say, joining us in the comedy box, Mr. Harry Goswell. Good afternoon, Harry. How has split 2 been so far?
Good afternoon, Revan. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been yeah, it's been pretty good so far.
Both of these at once at the moment. Let me just click on this here. I'm just looking at race 2 there as well, Harry. It does look like Flynn in 8th position there is making a fair bit of time up as well. As Soist here on Osdura. This looks like a spicy little battle that the BMW is about to lose.
Yep, he's gone wide on that corner there. Still side by side though, as they head down into sector 2, but Lamborghini around the outside has made that position look easy.
Yeah, he really did.
Van Soest in the Iron Lynx is the second Lamborghini to be up in the top 5, which is not something you see very often. These guys are down 2 positions since the start of the race. Also, they started at P3, but again, you know, taken by the guys in Vin Motorsport.
And that is Tavernier then. Back up to 8th place after a hard-fought 4 hours, 3 hours and 55 minutes. Tavernier back to where he started after that equipment failure right at the start of the race in the first stint. So yeah, great recovery drive by him. Murray is still on an absolute flyer up in 4th place, but now 81 seconds down on Liam Walsh in 3rd.
Did have a move being made by Lower. He's made his way up into P6 now. Brooks Zitter went slightly wide on turn 1, which allowed him to just slip up the inside, and that was the position done.
Oh, nice. So late overtakes in both of the races. Love to see it.
And then Brooks Zitter in P7, the other Lamborghini that was on track.